did this to me! I will destroy you!
Marcus Hale was a man who knew the value of a dollar. In his late 20s, a recent graduate with a top-tier job, he had finally settled into a safe, quiet neighborhood. He was used to the occasional sideways glance, being one of the few black men on the block, but he never let it stop him from enjoying the life he'd worked for. He belonged there as much as anyone, and his home was his sanctuary. All week, Marcus had been eagerly counting down. To him, those sneakers weren't just shoes, they were a reward, limited edition, sleek, the kind that turned heads effortlessly. He had saved diligently, skipped little luxuries, and finally clicked order. Delivery day came, but as usual, Marcus was stuck at work. He didn't worry. Packages were usually left safely on his porch, sometimes tucked away, always waiting. He refreshed his phone constantly, like a kid watching the clock on Christmas Eve. Then it appeared, delivered at your front door. Relief washed over him, smooth, simple. But later that evening, as Marcus pulled into his driveway, something felt off. The porch looked empty. Too empty. The silence seemed louder than usual. He rushed up the steps, checking behind the chair, the mat, even along the porch edges. Nothing. Ever felt your stomach drop before your mind could catch up? Marcus searched the bushes, peered over the fence, hoping the box had been nudged aside. Still nothing. Frustrated, he opened the delivery confirmation. There it was, a timestamp and a photo showing the box neatly sitting on his porch. The sneakers had arrived, and then disappeared. Anger flared. Someone had taken them. Marcus called the delivery company, hoping for answers. Instead, he received polite apologies and firm assurance. The package had been delivered correctly. If this already feels familiar, hit like and subscribe, because this neighborhood drama was only getting started. From Marcus's point of view, the explanation didn't sit right. The company had proof. The driver had done their job, which meant only one thing. Someone else had stepped in afterward. And not just anyone. This wasn't a random passerby. Whoever took the package knew his routine. They knew when he wasn't home. Marcus tried to brush it off as a one-time thing. Maybe someone walking by gave in to temptation. Maybe bad luck really did strike once. So he let it go. Weeks later, his nephew's birthday was coming up. From Marcus's perspective, it felt safe enough to try again. He ordered a set of brightly colored action figures. Nothing expensive, but meaningful. He needed them to arrive on time. Delivery day played out the same way. At work, he refreshed his phone during breaks, telling himself not to worry. Then it happened again. Package delivered at your front door, a knot tightened in his chest. Have you ever told yourself everything was fine while knowing it probably wasn't? When Marcus got home, his porch was empty. No box, no tape, no scraps, just bare wood and silence. His stomach dropped. This wasn't coincidence anymore. Someone was watching, waiting, taking. He paced his living room, anger colliding with disbelief. This wasn't just about missing packages. It was about boundaries, about safety, about peace of mind slipping away piece by piece. If someone could steal from his porch this easily, what else would they feel entitled to? 2 days later, Marcus decided he was done staying quiet, and he knew exactly where to start. There was only one person in the neighborhood who loved control more than rules, the HOA president, Brenda Knox. She constantly bragged about safety, order, and community standards, patrolling the streets like a self-appointed sheriff. If anyone could help, it had to be her. Or at least, that's what Marcus hoped. He walked over and knocked on her door. Brenda answered with a tight smile and that familiar look, like she'd just stepped in something unpleasant. Marcus calmly explained everything. The missing packages, the delivery proof, and his concern that someone nearby was responsible. He asked if the HOA could review cameras or send out a warning. She nodded slowly, pretending to listen, though her eyes kept drifting away. She didn't like him, never had, and part of her wanted nothing more than to frustrate him out of the neighborhood. Then fate got bold. Mid-conversation, Brenda's teenage son wandered into the room. Marcus's heart slammed against his ribs. It felt unreal. On the boy's feet were the exact sneakers Marcus had ordered. Same limited edition design. Same unmistakable details. The realization hit like a physical blow. Brenda wasn't just a neighborhood bully. She was using his hard-earned money to play cool mom for her son. She was stealing his peace to boost her child's popularity. Have you ever seen something that confirmed your worst suspicion in a single second? Marcus forced himself to stay composed. As an engineering grad, he knew emotional reactions were weak. He didn't need a shouting match, he needed a blueprint. He left her house without a word, mind racing. Accusing her without proof would backfire, but deep down he knew. He was staring straight at the truth. Before acting, Marcus chose patience. Evidence was the next move. He installed small, discreet cameras around his porch, hidden under trim, tucked near plants, nearly invisible. With the setup complete, he laid the bait. He ordered something cheap, a phone charger and headphones. When the delivery notification arrived, Marcus opened the live feed from work. For a while, nothing happened. Then a familiar figure stepped into frame. His stomach flipped. It wasn't her son. It wasn't a stranger. It was Brenda Knox herself. The HOA president casually lifted the package, glanced around, and tucked it under her arm like it belonged to her, strolling away without hesitation. Have you ever caught someone red-handed after they swore they were helping you? Marcus replayed the footage again and again. She hadn't been protecting her kid. She was the thief. Rage surged, but so did opportunity. Reporting her would end it fast. But exposing her, that would end it properly. Marcus filed a quiet police report for the first 2 missing packages, creating an unerasable paper trail. Then he planned unforgettable justice. He ordered harmless components, springs, glitter powder, industrial dye, stink spray, and spent the night assembling the box, waiting it to feel real. If you're enjoying this slow burn justice, like and subscribe, because the payoff was coming. He placed the box on his porch, bold and visible, returning to work with the live feed running. Minutes passed. Right on schedule, Brenda appeared. She crossed the lawn like she owned it, lifted the box with smug ease. Marcus watched, heart pounding, and smiled. She had no idea what she just picked up. Moments later, the footage delivered perfection. The instant Brenda opened the box, a spring-loaded blast erupted. Glitter shot into her face, coating hair, skin, and clothes. Before she could react, stink spray filled the air. Rotten, sour, impossible to escape. Then neon blue dye splashed across her cheeks and hands, staining instantly. She staggered back, screaming, flailing, less HOA president, more cartoon villain. Have you ever seen karma arrive exactly on time? Marcus rushed home. By the time he pulled into the driveway, neighbors had gathered, filming Brenda as she struggled to wash herself off with a garden hose. The smell clung, the glitter sparkled, the dye refused to fade. That night, Marcus sent the footage to the HOA board with a note. Here's your president keeping the neighborhood safe. By the next meeting, Brenda was finished. She paid Marcus double for every stolen package and was permanently removed from her position. Weeks later, the blue stains still lingered as she sat humiliated. The end. From the other side of silence. Toss Stories, where real voices rise and truth finds its echo. Like, subscribe, and share this story.